Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stalwart Initiative. Today, we're back with our final review of the subclasses for the Unearthed Arcana 2020 subclasses, Part 3. And today, we're back with the Ranger, the Fey Wanderer Ranger, to wrap up our subclasses review for this particular UA. And I mean, we're a month out. We're over a month out from the release of this, and due to the virus and several changes in many people's lives, it's been a while since I've been able to release this review. But let's get down to it and get this last one in. And hopefully, when the next one comes up, then I will be ready for it, and we'll jump on it right at the beginning. So this is the Fey Wanderer Ranger. And it says, as a Fey Wanderer, you guard the border between the Feywild and the material plane, guiding the lost out of the Feywild and preventing dangerous Fey from damaging the material plane. Your experience with both domains makes you an exceptional negotiator between inhabitants of these worlds, as you understand both humanoid mindsets and the wiles of the Fey courts. Fey Wanderers possess a preternatural blessing from a Fey ally or a place of Fey power. Choose your blessing from the Feywild gifts table or determine it randomly. So they give you a table here, a six feature table. You can roll it randomly, or you can pick one and choose it. It's things like your shadow dances while no one is looking directly at it. Delicate horns or antlers sprout from your head. These are all thematic changes, but also present a bit of the Feywild in your appearance. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. So your first mechanical feature of the class is Fey Wanderer Magic. I like this. This is giving additional spells to your Ranger subclass. And it says you learn additional spells when you reach certain levels in this class, as shown in the Fey Wanderer spells table. The spells count as a Ranger spell for you, but it doesn't count against the number of Ranger spells you know, which is very important. So this is a wonderful spell list. A lot of times I'm pretty critical about the spells that these subclasses offer, the spell lists. A lot of times it can be pretty bland, but this one for a Ranger is pretty nice. So as a third level Ranger, when you get this feature, you get Charm Person, which is pretty cool as a Ranger. You have that Fey presence, and you're well versed in the Feywild and material planes doings, and you can use that Charm Person. At 5th level, Misty Step. Misty Step is a great spell to have. Dispel Magic at 9th level, awesome spell. Banishment at 13, great spell. Mislead, not a lot of people get to 17th level, but it's also a useful spell. And so a solid Fey Wanderer Magic spell list. Thumbs up so far. Also at 3rd level, you get Cunning Will. Your experience with the Fey has guarded your mind and sharpened your tongue. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. In addition, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: Deception, Performance, or Persuasion. This is a great skill great feature depending on what race you are, because this does overlap quite a bit with certain races. And mainly elves as far as being charmed, and gnomes as far as having resistance to magic spells. So a few races already get this first part of this feature, advantage against charmed or frightened. Pretty much everybody can benefit from the proficiency, though, in the Deception, Performance, or Persuasion. So I think that's their way of saying, look, if this kind of doesn't do anything for you, we do have this small feature tacked on the end. I would really like to see something a little more balancing for the races who don't get enough love from this. It makes you want to pick a race that gets the full benefit of this, as opposed to a race that has that first part baked in. So, yeah, it's meh. It's meh. It's a great feature if you're the right race. That's all I can say. If you're a human, this is a wonderful feature. If you're an elf or a gnome or other such races, then it's not as great. Also at 3rd level, you get Dreadful Strikes. You augment your attacks with a mind-scarring magic drawn from the gloomy hollows of the unseelie Fey. you gain a bonus action that you can use to imbue the weapon or weapons you're currently holding with magic. Until the end of the turn, the weapons the weapons are magical and they deal an extra 1d6 psychic damage on a hit. A creature can take this extra damage only once per turn. When you engage in two-weapon fighting, you can imbue your weapons as part of the same bonus action you use to make the attack. So I'm glad they add a few extra little caveats here, saying that you can only a single creature can only be dealt this 1d6 psychic damage once per turn. So if you're dual wielding, then you won't get that extra bonus for both times you hit a single creature. Though if you hit two separate creatures with your two attacks, they can both take that 1d6 psychic damage. Something to keep in mind. And also, it does note when you're two-weapon fighting, you can imbue your weapons, both of these weapons, as part of the same bonus action, meaning that you don't have to take two separate turns to do so. A very crucial thing to mention, and I think very good on the Wizard's part. An extra 1d6 of damage per turn. At third level, this is an okay feature. The problem is it doesn't scale with you. So as a third level feature, I like this. Dreadful Strikes is nice, but it doesn't scale with you. So this falls off pretty quickly as the game progresses. But so Cunning Will was nice. Depending on the race, it was a good feature. And Dreadful Strikes is an okay feature. It adds a little bit of damage. It is psychic damage, which is nice. But other than that, it's not anything compelling. But let's move up to your 7th level feature, the Blessing of the Courts. You have learned eerie techniques from both the Glooming Court and the Summer Court of the Feywild. Once during each of your turns, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend a spell slot to deal extra psychic damage. The extra damage is 3d6 psychic damage, and the creature must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw. There we go. Let's move down to the next channel. Or next page. It's been a long day. Saving throw against your spell save DC, or be frightened of you until the end of your next turn. In addition, whenever you make a charisma check, you gain a bonus to the check equal to your wisdom modifier. So already, the level 7th feature is already catching my eye in the fact that it gives you 2 things as opposed to 1, which is nice, which we also saw up in the Cunning Will feature. Gives you two features in one. So the first and main feature is that when you land when you hit with a weapon attack, you can use a spell slot, any spell slot, first level or above. It's nice they leave that open for you to deal 3d6 psychic damage. Good things about this are, 1, you're not wasting a spell slot because you only have to use it when you hit. This is very, very crucial. It's not like a lot of classes where you're using first level spell slots to try to hit something. This is already when you hit with a weapon attack, you can do this as an afterthought. So 3d6 psychic damage is like a mini sneak attack or a mini smite, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice because you're guaranteed not to waste a spell slot, and you're guaranteed to hit the damage, and it's not halved if they pass any save or anything like that. Plus it has, I guess technically 3 features. In addition to dealing the damage, they also have to make a wisdom save or be frightened. So there's your second feature. If they don't make it, that's okay. You're still dealing the damage, but you don't get the fear effect. But you can damage them and fear them. So there's 2 great features of this 7th level feature. And finally, you get whenever you make a charisma check, anytime in game, you can add your wisdom modifier. This is wonderful. It all depends on how you want to build this ranger. So if you want to build this ranger, this is 7th level when you get this subclass feature. But if you want to build the ranger with a little bit of mix of wisdom to help augment your spells and augment your features, then let's say you have a 2 to 3 modifier for your wisdom at level 7. This is not bad. I mean, 2 to 3 points on every charisma check you make, that's pretty good, especially if you have proficiency with it already. So if you're making a persuasion check, a deception check, things like that, you automatically get a bonus to every one of those you make. This would get a lot of mileage for that bonus. So, whereas Cunning Will, I think, is a great feature for select races, great feature. Dreadful Strikes is an okay feature for everybody, but not that great for anyone. I think Blessing of the Courts is pretty great for everyone. So I like that. Good solid 7th level feature. Let's move on to our 11th level feature, Beguiling Twist. You learn how to manipulate mind-altering magic, channeling it from your allies toward others. Whenever a creature you can see within 120 feet of you succeeds on a saving throw against being charmed or frightened, you can use your reaction to force a different creature you can see within 120 feet of you to succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, or suffer your choice of one of the following effects. So this is a basic redirection or funneling effect. So you see an ally who is who manages to pass a charm or frighten effect. You kind of sense that, and you use that magic that was used against them to turn around and channel that back into a different enemy or ally if you're feeling in the asshole kind of mood. You channel that energy back into an enemy to do one of two effects. The first effect is essentially doing the same thing they tried to do to your ally to an enemy. The creature is charmed or frightened by you for 1 minute. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself or on a successful save. So you either charm or frighten an enemy. Just straight up, you're taking it from an ally who passed it and giving it back to an enemy. Or you can choose to channel that and channel that as 3d10 psychic damage and push it back to an enemy of your choice, as long as they don't pass the save. I think this is wonderful. The fact that they're not putting a limit on it. This is not X amount of times per long rest. This is not X amount of times equal to your wisdom modifier. Excuse me. No corona. This is straight up 3D. If they fail this, you use your reaction. If they fail this, they take 3d10 psychic damage, no questions asked. Or they have to or they get charmed or frightened. This is a really good feature. Really good feature. 11th level, Beguiling Twist, approved feature. So the last feature for your subclass is Misty Presence. You can magically remove yourself from one creature's perception. You gain a bonus action that you can use to force a creature you can see within 30 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the target can't see or hear you for 24 hours. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of any turn during which you hit it with an attack roll, forced it to make a saving throw, or dealt damage to it. The effect ends early if you use this bonus action again. On a successful save, the target is immune to this feature for 7 days. Once you've used this bonus action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest or until you expend a spell slot, a 4th level or higher, to use it again. So this is nice. One, it gives you a feature, it gives you something to use your bonus action for, which is always nice. Give you more versatility in your turn. And you get to target a creature. If they fail this save, they can't see or hear you. It's essentially making you invisible to them, but not only invisible to them, but they can't hear you as well. So this is super useful on one target, and they can't see or hear you for 24 hours. There's no additional save after each turn or no additional save after each hour. As long as you don't do anything to them, they can't see or hear you. You're essentially a ghost. You can mess with them. You could walk around their house and play ghost games on them, knock things over. They're not going to see you. They don't know you're there for 24 hours. I think this is a great role-playing feature. It's also a good combat feature, but great role-playing feature. And again, with them allowing you to use a 4th level spell slot to use it again. Oh, I love that. I love that. So it's not only a class feature, but it's also an additional spell. Love it. Great. It's a 15th level feature, so it should be good, and it is. Now, granted, it's not good in all situations because it's only one target, and once you do something to them, they get to make the save and possibly see you again. So, but it's great. I think this would be hilarious to run in game. A nice 15th level feature. So as we look back through the Fey Wanderer, it is a decent subclass to a decent class. The Ranger is known for pumping out consistent damage, but not extremely high damage, providing a little bit of utility, but not a large amount of utility. The Ranger just needs some love, for real. They're great for adventuring. Don't get me wrong. If you're in an adventuring campaign, Rangers are fantastic. They're super strong in navigating the wilds. But yeah, this is a good Ranger class, but Ranger subclass. But Ranger the class, in my opinion, needs more love than this subclass is able to compensate for. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been the Fey Wanderer. Whenever some more Unearthed Arcana comes out, I'll do some reviews on it. And yeah, check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Stalwart Initiative. We run games, especially games with, I allow the players to use these subclasses so we get to feature them more. And we do a lot of themed games, and we do one-shots with the community, and also campaigns, full-blown campaigns featuring subclasses like this. So, yeah, thanks for joining me, and everyone have a wonderful day, and take care of yourselves and each other. Let's get through this trying time together. See ya.